40 million human beings perished in the Second World War. Never have humans perpetrated such a massacre. But you animals paid a heavy price too. Intrepid war dogs. Quadrupeds that slave in the service of men. Farm animals ready for the pot. Monkeys from blazing jungles. Friends who cheer, who console, who listen. On every front and on every continent, from north to south, from east to west, you animals have shared man's fate in this planetary conflict. What if, for once, we were able to see the Second World War through your eyes? This year, 1939, Hitler, who has always loved animals, German ones of course, already knows he's going to invade Poland. Yet, as he is still radiant in Europe, this is the last summer of peace for the animal kingdom. From the deep forests of the East to the Scandinavian taiga. For the animals of the western pastures and plains, life also continues peacefully. It is 21 years already since the inhabitants of these regions stopped killing each other. But on September 1st, 1939, horsemen from Germany crossed the border between Germany and Poland. An infinitesimal line when set against the immensity of the world, but where certain animals are already encountering the first fracas of the war. Beyond the Polish woods, the reality is even more worrisome. In the air, the iron birds of the Luftwaffe prepare to bomb Poland. On land, the mechanical horses of the Wehrmacht are revealed in numbers in all their power. Lining up against a Polish army that still believes in the strength of its traditional cavalry. From the onset of hostilities in Krojanty in the north of the country, 250 Polish lancers spot an enemy column and sound the charge. For you horses, charging isn't natural. In the noise and fury, blinded by dust, you'd rather get the heck out of there. But hemmed in by the group, all you can do is dash onwards. Baring your broad chests to the grape shot in this clash between flesh and steel. Half of Krojanty's menfolk perish in the carnage, their legend forever forged by their heroism. As for the horses, their bravery and despair is forgotten, as always. They are relegated to the outer halo of history. In less than a month, this new lightning war sweeps away everything in its path. September 27th, crushed by the bombs, Warsaw surrenders amid the ashes. Farewell, noble steed. No longer will your frenzied gallop determine the fate of battles. From now on in this war, you will be assigned other tasks. As soon as Poland falls, men persecute each other. A new animal is now used by the torturers to ostracize their victims. The Reichsminister of Propaganda, Joseph Goebbels, commissions a pseudo-documentary that features the rat. Voracious parasite of dubious origins living on the backs of populations. It is supposed to represent Jews, whom the Nazis have chosen as their mortal enemy. That's right. Blame the Polish rats, when the real scourge is already there. The brown plague, ready to sweep across Europe. At the Berghof, life is good for Stasi and Negus, canine companions of Eva Braun, the Führer's mistress. It's the internal pileup of history, where the tragedy of the vanquished doesn't alter the victor's good mood. Especially since, with Poland crushed, France and Great Britain, who had declared war on Hitler, are not reacting. In this phony war that's beginning, the Allies, bogged down in memories of the Great War, confine themselves to purely defensive measures, preferring to bury their heads in the sand. Even though some would clearly rather see. We may have a reputation for pig-headedness, but sometimes men are more stupid than any so-called dumb animal. German soldiers are more advanced, although it's easier to try such machinery on a docile, active horse than on a common old nag with a short temper. We dare not imagine how these men ready a beast for the heat of the action. Even more absurd are the suits designed to prevent burns by mustard gas. Especially as dogs pant to cool off when they exert themselves. The more stress they're under, the more they need to open their mouths to oxygenate themselves. It's all absurd, and intended primarily to reassure men of their benevolence towards animals and their expertise. On the other hand, when recruiting their dogs of war, the Germans know how to go about choosing the strongest. As a worthy race of lords, shame on all the others. The yellow bellies, the chickens, the stubborn mules, all those not ready to howl with the wolves. Some animals have even less choice, such as these German mules, for whom the hard labor has already begun. Man has decreed once and for all that you were born to carry. But apparently, it's not quite that simple. Then after the charge, getting used to the dark. Here, it's the rear of a truck for those British mules bound for France. suddenly engulfed in a bottomless pit. Before being blinded by the light as they exit, like these mules from India. At least they're accompanied by their handlers who know them and cover them from the cold of this new land they're discovering. Humblest of humble beasts, you mules always work in a group. You don't even get a name of your own. You quickly find yourself in the hands of inexperienced conscripts who speak to you in a new language you don't understand. Poorly packed, driven by greenhorns with no idea of the terrain you are suited to, you are the first to suffer. In the general disorder of this phony war, life is sweeter for some. Despite the services rendered for the First World War, the French General Staff no longer believes in the usefulness of war dogs. Several hundred against the German dogs in their tens of thousands. And more than the strategic content of the message, the authorities are delighted to show the miles covered by the messengers. A reminder that in this period of general inertia, some things are moving. But showing the public at the rear that the front isn't stagnant is one thing. Building more kennels, better instructing man and beast together, would be quite another. One that would, moreover, take months.